Howdy y'all, thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of Marvel Champions the card game, the Hero Pack, the Nightcrawler, or Nightcrawler as we see. This is an expansion that is actually a full deck. It even lets you know here that this is a one complete pre-built Nightcrawler deck. It's got some new cards in here, lets us know. And it's got the Nemesis in there for Azazel. So we're going to pop this open, check it out, and then do a solo playthrough with this and see how it goes against the Four Horsemen. I will let you know before I open this, there is a security tape here that you should always check. That'll let you know if your package has been tampered with. If you didn't pay attention to that and you opened it, if you want to make sure everything's there, then when you open it, basically, you'll open it. It'll have a sealed pack of cards, which is going to be your deck. And then it's going to have, underneath this little flap, I've seen some people throw it away, it's going to have this little thing here. And I know I'm zoomed way in, but there's really not much to show here. Oh, before I look at this, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to assume protection for Nightcrawler. I always try to predict the decks before we see them, and I haven't seen this yet. I'm going to assume Nightcrawler's protection because his ally card is protection, and I don't know what his ability is, but we'll see. And all this is you can normally open this up. It's got a poster, which is going to be the same art that's on the cover here. And then it's going to have any extra rules here that you may need. Most of these you probably wouldn't. And then sometimes they have some frequently asked questions, but they don't have them here. Instead, they just got the credits. And it does indeed let us know it's a protection deck right there. Nightcrawler protection. Which I kind of figured because, like I said, his ally was protection. His ally card was protection. And its ability was really good for protection. So I figured this is what they were going to do with it. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up, take a look at it. I will admit, Nightcrawler is not one of my favorite characters. Don't despise him, just not one of my favorite characters. I know it's a lot of people's though, but I will say I do like, I got an idea, especially now to see its protection. If his playstyle is anything like his ally card, it's probably going to be something I'm going to want to play. So, let's check it out. Alright. I did a cut there only so that I figured I will try something new this time. Because I know my hands shake a lot when I'm usually filming. So I figured I'll do it like this. Get zoomed in as close as I can. And we'll just look at them like this. So yeah, let's start off here. No, let's go ahead and flip him over to his alter ego side. Because this is where you're going to start the game at anyways. He does have a 3 recovery, which is about typical. He's a mutant. He has an action where it lets you search your deck for a copy of Bamf, which I'm assuming is one of his unique cards, and add it to your hand. Limit once per round. Alright. And then you switch him over to his Nightcrawler side, or to his hero side. He's got 2 thwarts, so typical. 1 attack, you know, but basically I'm assuming he's going to have a bunch of little dinky damage. And then 3 defense, which is actually pretty good. Which makes sense with his teleportation. Rapid teleportation, he's an X-Men action. Spend 1 resource of any type. Return a copy of Bamf from your discard pile to your hand. So I'm assuming Bamf's going to be his teleport, which is probably going to do the same thing that his ally card did, which is basically allow you to defend for other people and stuff. So, alright. So, I always forget because I get carried away. And it looks like he's got the typical hand size 5, hit points 9, and then on his alter ego side, hand size 6. So, atypical. Alright, so next we're going to go through his 15 unique cards that you have to have in the deck. If this will, there we go, focus a little bit. Let you know that he's going to have 15 cards in his deck here. And usually it's their ally, they have a unique ally right off the bat in their deck, and or not unique, but an ally just for their deck. And here we have Day Tripper, and she costs 2 to bring out. She has 2 hit points. She thwarts and attacks for 2 with 1 consequence star each. And then she's a Mystic. As a response, after Day Tripper enters play, search your deck and discard pile for a copy of Bamf and attach it to an enemy. Deal 1 damage to each enemy with a copy of Bamf attached. Alright, maybe it's not going to be a card you play. Maybe it's just going to be more like Iceman, where you're going to be throwing some Bamfs on there. Well, we'll see when we see it. We have a support here, Kurt's Chapel, 1 cost. Location, Kurt Wagner gets +1 recovery. Alter Ego response: after you make a basic recovery, exhaust Kurt's Chapel and choose a player. That player draws 1 card. So, yep, not too bad, because you're going to do it in Alter Ego anyway, so if you're going to have to recover some hit points, plus it lets you draw some cards, or if you're playing with other players, allow someone else to draw a card. Alright. 2-cost upgrade. Kurt's Cutlasses. Counts as 2 restricted cards, so you're limited to those 2, so this is both of them. But it gives Nightcrawler +1 attack, +1 defense, and retaliate 1. So that's going to put him up to the 2 attack, which is typical, but it's going to give him an amazing defense. And he's going to retaliate. Seems pretty good. Alright, we got Prehensile Tail here. 1-cost upgrade. You control 1 additional upgrade that has the restricted keyword. Alright, so this allows you to have another restricted resource. So as a resource, you can exhaust this to generate a wild resource for an event. Seems good. Alright, finally get to see Bamf. And we know there's going to be multiples of these. It's a 0-cost upgrade. Attached to an enemy. Max 1 per enemy. Hero Interrupt as a defense. When attached enemy attacks, discard this card. Declare Nightcrawler as the defender without exhausting him. That is pretty good. I like that a lot. I can already tell now. I definitely want to play this character. Yeah, it lets me do what I want to do with Cap, but I don't have to worry about tapping him. Or like what we're going to see in the solo, where we go against the 4 horsemen. This will be pretty cool. Well, it sort of lets you block 4 horsemen, but it makes it where I don't have to tap, so seems good. Or exhaust. So we have how many of those? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 of them. But I mean, you have so many ways to get them back, so seems pretty good. Alright, we got Port and Punch. 2-cost event, attack, hero action attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy, deal 3 damage to each enemy with Bamf attached. So you can get 6 damage out of that. I mean, spread across. Well, actually, no, because if you have Bamf on an enemy, then you can attack them for 3 and then attack them for another 3. So, I like it. And we have 2 of those. We have Teleport Drop here. It is an event attack also. Hero action attack. Discard a copy of Bamf from an enemy. Deal 8 damage to that enemy and stun it. So there's his big damage dealer. I'm assuming there's only going to be 1 of these. I mean, if there's 2, that'd be stupid. But, yeah, I like it. I was hoping for a lot of attack here, because then if you go protection. But we got to see some thwarts in here. Yep, here we go. 1 cost, scout ahead. Hero action, thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. You may discard a copy of Bamf from your hand to remove another 3 threat from another scheme. Or to remove 3 threat from another scheme. That does say another. Did I miss that on the attack one? No, I did not. Okay, so it's only on the threat one. But man, when you need to clean up real quick, this could do it, and it's only 1 cost. Granted, you got to discard your Bamf, which is getting rid of one of your main abilities, or getting rid of your main ability, but still, clean up when you need to. And we have 2 of those. Then we have Port Away, 0-cost event. Action, discard a copy of Bamf from your hand. Change forms and ready your identity. Seems pretty good. 1-cost event, Tally Ho. It's a defense, hero response. After Bamf makes Nightcrawler the defender of an attack, return that copy of Bamf to your hand. Deal 3 damage to the attacking enemy. I like it. That seems pretty good. And I'm assuming 2 of those. Yep. And that'd be the last of his 15 cards. Oh, I'm already happy with what I see here. So, that's pretty cool. That's his unique cards. Now we're going to get into some protection cards. And right off the bat, we have a new, which is typical in these decks, you'll see a new ally. And we have one here who's one of my favorite characters, Rogue. I think a lot of people like Rogue also. Like I said, I know a lot of people like Nightcrawler more. I was more of a Rogue fan. But here we go. We got Rogue. 4 cost, 3 hit points, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 1 consequence star on each. She is an X-Men. Action, deal 1 damage to another friendly character. Until the end of the round, Rogue gains each of that character's traits and adds that character's printed thwart and attack to her matching powers. I'll admit, as much as I like Rogue, I have not built a deck with her yet. I have one that I've been kind of brewing, and I just forget whenever it's time to play. So I haven't really found some cheesy things I want to do with the traits yet. But I mean, this one's pretty good that it gives them, you get their thwart and attack. So especially when you're playing with other people co-op, if you can hit up one of their characters when they have a beefed up, oh, it says printed. Okay, it says printed. Never mind. I was thinking some cheesy stuff, but it does say printed. And that's the reason I like doing it like this, because normally when the old style, when I had to hold the hand up to the camera, I was focusing on making sure everything was in focus so much that I would miss wordings. Okay, so printed. So it can't get too crazy, but I mean, I can think of some crazy characters, and then even some allies that have like 3 in thwart or 3 in attack, that this can get kind of silly, because you can do like a 5. Yeah, I like it. Trying to remember what protection decks I really have, but we'll go with it. Alright, we got Northstar. Northstar. 3 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, and 2 attack with 1 consequence star. He is an X-Men. Interrupt when a boost card is turned face up during an attack. Deal 1 damage to Northstar. Cancel all boost icons on that card. So if that's going to be one of those ones where it's going to do a lot of damage, like you flip over 3, or even, I know there's those 4s out there, but mostly a 3. Yeah, he's got to take a damage, but that's 3 less damage you may be taking. So, yeah, seems good to me. 1 cost upgrade, Change of Fortune. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. As a response, after you defeat an enemy during the villain phase, exhaust this card to draw 2 cards. Actually, I do like that, because a lot of times when you're playing protection, you're going to use most of your cards during your enemy's turn. So you're going to have, like, your hand's going to be pretty depleted when it becomes your turn. So if you can find a way, during the villain phase. So yeah, actually this is pretty good, because if you find a way to trigger your protection card to manage to defeat the enemy, like a response, like I'm thinking about the, oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite cards. I can't think of what it's called right now off the top of my head. But it basically, yeah, it's like when you get attacked, you can attack back. I can even picture, it's got, I can picture artwork and everything, just can't picture the name of the card. But anyways, I mean, this lets you replenish that hand while doing that damage, as long as you make sure you knocked them out. So, I find that pretty good. And there's going to be 3 of these. Zero cost upgrade, under control, tactic, attached to a minion, max 1 per minion. As a response, after a hero defends against attacked minion's attack and takes no damage, deal 4 damage to that attached minion. Especially if you get his swords out and he's got that 4 defense. Now granted, it's only a minion, but most minions are not going to hit that hard. So this is a way to basically take out a minion. I don't know if I like 3 of them in a deck, but I could see having 1 or 2 of them. Alright, zero cost event. Come get me, bub. It's a tactic, hero action. Discard cards from the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play engaged with you. Heal 3 damage from your identity and give your identity a tough status card. So like the one that lets you go look for a scheme, but you get to draw cards. This is just a take on that. So pretty good for protection. I could see it. I could see, I don't know, like I said, it's the same one like I said about the other one. I don't know how I feel about 3 of them in your deck, but I mean, just 1. For those situations where you just need to get healing and you can't switch over to that. Seems good. I think this is a reprint. Pretty sure it's a reprint. I may be wrong. 2 cost event, powerful punch. I mean, just the artwork. I might be thinking of a different artwork though. Attack, defense, hero interrupt. When an enemy initiates an attack, deal 4 damage to that enemy. So this one's pretty good because you get to do the damage before they attack, because it says when they initiate an attack and it's an interrupt, which always looks ahead of time. So This could be good if it's the finishing punch on a villain, or this could be good in the case of if a minion, because you're most likely going to knock out a minion with 4 damage, so it lets you take out that minion, but you are paying 2 for it too. And it may just be my brain not thinking of it right now. I'm wondering if it is enough to take out the villain if that cancels out its attack. That's something I'll look into when I do the solo playthrough and see if I can get y'all an answer for that. But that's just something I just never thought of right now. That's the only reason my brain just can't think of it right now. I've never had that situation happen, so I just never looked it up. But there we are, powerful punch. Alright. We got 1 cost event, riposte. We have, it's a defense, hero interrupt. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense for that attack. If you take no damage from that attack, deal 3 damage to the attacking enemy. Once again, back to reiterating, he's got that 4 defense. But I mean, this actually makes him have a 6 defense. And it lets you attack, and once again, attacking during your opponent's, or your villain phase, which doesn't give you much to do on your turn. But if you have your swords out, you're talking a 6 defense. And you do the BAMF to where you're not exhausting. Yeah, I like this one for sure. Alright, this is an oldie but goodie. Power protection. Just a new artwork basically. And we knew there was going to be one of these because I kind of looked when I was just checking to see during one of the cuts, checking to see what we were going to be looking at here as far as side schemes and new things. And we knew there was going to be a new player side scheme here. So we got a new player side scheme for protection. 1 cost. Response, after an X-Men character defends against an enemy attack and takes no damage, remove 1 threat from this scheme. When defeated, stun and confuse each enemy in play. Seems pretty good. It's got 5 threat on it. It doesn't say you can't remove threat in other ways, but it could be one that you just throw out there and just slowly as you're defending, especially with characters like I was talking about with Colossus, or if you got a deck that's doing a lot of toughnesses or stuff. The only restriction is it's got to make sure it's an X-Men character. But, yeah. Seems good. Alright. Off the hype of the movie, we're seeing it here. Gambit. It's a 3 cost. 3 hit points. He's got X Thwart and X Attack. Okay, let's check that out. X is the number of boost icons on the card under Gambit. Okay, so I'm assuming this... I saw a new keyword in here, so this is probably going to be it. Response, after Gambit enters play, look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck and tuck 1 under him so that only the boost field is visible. They just mentioned tuck. I mean, pretty simple. Says what it does. So it's saying go get 3 cards, or look at 3 cards, take 1 and tuck it underneath this card. Just like it says. And now, that's going to give him... So if you flip one of those 3s, he's going to have a 3 thwart and a 3 attack. Yeah, I'm liking this for my... X-Men ally deck. Seems good. Actually, it just seems good in any deck, really. But alright, this is an old one. We've seen it before. Moira McTaggart. I think it was in the... I just can't remember if it was in the... Well, yeah, it'd be the base box because it was Colossus. I was going to say, I was thinking it was with Colossus in my mind. So that's probably where it's from. I could be wrong on that, though. 2 cost. Play only if your identity has a mutant trait. After a mutant alter ego changes into hero form, exhaust Moira McTaggart. That hero's controller draws a card. And then we're going to probably see all 3 of the basic ones. Energy, Strength, or, well, Energy, Genius, Strength. Yep, there we go. Alright, that would be your whole deck. That's good to go. Seems pretty good. I like it. Only a few little that I would change some things out. But, like I said, I'd keep... I don't think I saw anything I would just immediately get rid of. I'd probably just sub out a few things here and there. Seems pretty good, actually, already. Alright, so we got his obligation here. Crisis of Faith. Give to Kurt. You may flip to alter ego form, choose, exhaust Kurt, remove Crisis of Faith from the game. Typical. Discard each attack. Sorry, let me re-say that. Discard each attack and defense event from your hand. Discard this obligation. So, I mean, if you really just don't want to tap because you need to do some other things, or I keep wanting to say tap, if you just don't really want to exhaust because you just don't want to do some things, and you have no attacks and defenses, I would assume you'd have at least one, though. Nah. Still, there's the obligation. And then we see the Nemesis. It lets us know this is one of 5. So we got the typical. It's going to be the Nemesis. It's going to be their side scheme. And then it's going to be the 3 cards that shuffle into the deck. We see here it's Azazel. 2 scheme, 3 attack. He's got quick strike, which means he attacks the second he comes out. Azazel cannot have upgrades attached. Okay. And if it's used as a boost, then he's got 3 hit points, if I didn't mention. He's got a boost here to deal Azazel to Kurt player as a face down encounter card. So he's basically teleporting in. Works with them mechanically. Alright. The side scheme that would be brought in. Brimstone Dimension. All of this could be yours if you'd only join me. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme finds Azazel and deals him to themselves as a face-down encounter card. Then, get an extra encounter card during the villain phase, during the encounter step, and it's going to have 5 on it. 5 threat. Alright, we got Azazel's sword here. +1 attack, attached to Azazel, otherwise attached to the villain. Attached enemies attacks gain piercing. So ignores that toughness. So yeah, pretty annoying. Hero response. After attached enemy attacks you, discard 1 random card from your hand. Then discard this card. We have Brimstone Strike. When Azazel, if an alter ego when revealed, find Azazel and reveal him, he schemes. When revealed in hero form, find Azazel and reveal him. Which, remember, he's got quick strike. So, basically, if this plays, he's either going to come in and scheme immediately, or he's going to come in and attack immediately. And we got 2 of those. Alright, it lets us know that's everything. And everything behind here is that the remaining cards are not part of the Nightcrawler pre-built deck, blah, blah, blah. And these are just all things to add in to be extra cards. And we saw protection, so we're probably going to see, you can already see, because you can see the red, we're going to see cards from the other aspects in behind here. And then just in case you want to rebuild that deck and back to normal, it lets you know everything that's in there. Alright, we got the new aggression card. It's a 1-cost event, combined forces, alliance, hero action, exhaust an X-Force character and an X-Men character. Defeat a non-elite minion. Pretty good. And what Alliance means, it means because you're going to have to be able to exhaust an X-Force and an X-Men. Alliance means someone else can help do that. So someone else could tap or exhaust the X-Force or X-Men character, which we saw all X-Men. I don't remember if we saw any X-Force. So if someone else has the X-Force, they could pay that to help you do this, to just take out a non-elite minion. And they're probably going to give you 3 of these because it's new. Then we see the new Justice card. So we got the Justice here. Gunboat Diplomacy. 1-cost event. It's an Alliance attack thwart. So Alliance also hero action. Exhaust an X-Force character and an X-Men character. Remove X threat from among schemes in play. And deal X damage among enemies in play. Where X is the combined thwart of the 2 exhausted characters. And it doesn't say printed. So if you're doing your identity and someone else's identity, this could be a pretty decent one. Pretty sure I know someone who plays with me is probably going to play with at least 1 or 2 of these. Of course, they got to make sure they have the X-Force in there because, well, actually, they would have the X-Force. They got to make sure they have the X-Men. So, okay, we did not see a new leadership card. Instead, we saw something that I do like. I like it when they give these extra little, I don't know why I picked it up because we were already zoomed in. I like it when we see these extra little things, like as far as encounters that you could throw in. So this means when I do the solo play that I typically do with this deck, right after I get done here, and I'm going to see how Nightcrawler fares against the 4 Horsemen, I'm going to throw in the Crazy Gang as one of the encounters. Probably get rid of the Hounds, and it'll be instead of the Hounds and the 4 Horsemen, it'll be the Crazy Gang, as it says here, and the 4 Horsemen. And it lets us know there's going to be 6 new cards here. I love that when they do this. I like having more encounters, more variants in play. So we have the Crazy Gang here. Side scheme, forced response. After a non-elite minion schemes against a player, deal that minion to that player as a face-down encounter card. Then if there is more than one player in the game, pass that face-down encounter card to the next player. It's going to have an acceleration on it while it's out, and it gets 2 per player. So it's easy to get rid of, but you want to get rid of it. That's quite annoying. And then we're going to see the Crazy Gang, I'm sure. So here we go, right off the bat. We have the Queen of Hearts. Minion, of course. 0 scheme, 1 attack, 4 hit points. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Crazy Gang side scheme and reveal it. If it is already in play, deal yourself a face-down encounter card. So bringing back that annoying side scheme. But like I said, it's also easy to get rid of. But still, gotta waste time doing that. We got the Jester here. 0 scheme, 1 attack, 5 hit points. When revealed, you are confused. If you are already confused, discard a support you control. So, won't be able to thwart because you're going to be confused. Hopefully you got Stalwart. Alright, we got Executioner here. So none of these scheme so far. 0 scheme, 2 attack, 4 hit points. When revealed, Executioner attacks the friendly character with the fewest remaining hit points. If this attack defeats an ally, remove that ally from the game. Because it does say character, so the odds are it's going to attack a weak... Well, it is going to attack, not odds are. It's going to attack the weakest ally, unless you just don't have any allies out, then it'll attack one of the identities. So, yeah. Oh. We got Tweedle Dope here. Tweedle Dope, 0 scheme, 2 attack, 6 hit points. Man, the hit points are just going up. When revealed, you are stunned. If you are already stunned, discard and upgrade your control, just like we saw with the other one. And then we have Off with His Head. Off with His Head. Treachery, when revealed, each minion activates against the player it is engaged with. If no minion activates this way, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded and reveal that minion. So get you more of these minions, which are the crazy ones. Alright. So, yep, I'm going to sleeve this up. We're going to do a solo playthrough real quick with it, like I do with all of them. To some people, I know y'all like those or not. And I started something new with the Jubilee one, and I'm going to do it with this one. I mean, I kind of already did it with this one. But those were, but basically at the end of the solo playthrough, I like to go through the cards again and see if they do exactly what I said when I was doing this unboxing. And do any takes now that I've gotten a chance to play with them, possibly, because it depends on how fast the game goes. If I got a chance to play with them, see how I feel about the cards and whether I've changed my mind. Like with the Jubilee one, there was definitely a card where it was like, that wasn't as good as I was thinking when I first said it. And then all of a sudden I played it in the solo playthrough and it was like, yeah, that turned out to be way better than I thought it was going to be. But anyways, this video's been long enough. If you want to see the solo playthrough, check that out, and I'll hopefully have that up in a day or so. And if you're interested in Nightcrawler, here you go. Go get it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.